Jiho Park stared at his computer screen. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He had been checking dates for his latest story about government spending. The numbers needed to be perfect. His editor would fire him if he got even one fact wrong. But, now looking at the official records, Jiho felt sick to his stomach. The calendar jumped from December 31st, 2090 straight to January 1st, 2092. The year 2091 was missing, completely gone. Jiho rubbed his eyes. Maybe he was just tired. He'd been working late every night this week. He clicked refresh on his browser. The same thing appeared. 2090, then 2092. No 2091. He opened a new browser tab and searched for 2091 news. Nothing came up. He tried events in 2091, still nothing. Every search result showed him articles from 2090 or 2092, but never 2091. This made no sense. Jiho remembered 2091 clearly. He had worked at a small newspaper then. It was his first real job after college. He remembered covering local stories, writing about traffic problems in city council meetings. He even remembered his birthday that year, his 23rd birthday in March 2091. But according to every computer, every database, and every official record, that year never happened. Jiho stood up from his desk. His hands were shaking. He walked to the coffee machine in the corner of the newsroom. Maybe some coffee would help him think clearly. "Hey, Jiho," said his coworker Sunho. "You look terrible." "What's wrong?" "Sunho," Jiho said carefully. "What year is it now?" Sunho laughed. "Are you serious? It's 2095. Did you hit your head or something?" "And what year was it 4 years ago?" 2091, obviously. Sunho paused. His face went blank for a moment. Then, he blinked. "I mean 2091, wait, no, that's not right. 4 years ago was 2091, no, that's..." Sunho looked confused. "That's weird. 4 years ago would be 2091, but that doesn't sound right." Jiho felt cold. "Sunho, do you remember anything from 2091? Sunho's face was empty. "What do you mean? There was no 2091. We went from 2090 to 2092. Everyone knows that. Why are you asking strange questions?" "But you just said 4 years ago was 2091. "No, I didn't." Sunho looked at Jiho like he was crazy. "I said 4 years ago was 2091. Wait, no, that's impossible. 4 years ago was... Sunho held his head in his hands. "My head hurts. I need to get back to work." Sunho walked away quickly. He kept looking back at Jiho with worried eyes. Jiho felt like the world was spinning. He was either going insane or something terrible had happened. He decided to test this more carefully. He went back to his computer and opened his personal email account. He scrolled back to look for emails from 2091. There were emails from late 2090 and then emails from early 2092. Nothing from 2091. But Jiho knew he had sent emails in 2091. He remembered writing to his mother about his new job. He remembered sending photos from his birthday party to his college friends. All of those emails were gone. Jiho spent the rest of the day testing his theory. He asked 5 different people about 2091. They all had the same reaction as Sunho. First, confusion, then a blank look, then they acted like the question was stupid, like 2091 had never existed. He checked the city library's newspaper archives. The newspapers from December 2090 were there. The newspapers from January 2092 were there. But there was a gap where 2091 should be. Just empty space. By evening, Jiho was sure of 2 things. First, the year 2091 had been erased from all records and from everyone's memory. Second, he was the only person who still remembered it. But why could he remember when no one else could? And who had the power to erase an entire year from history? That night, Jiho couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about 2091. The more he thought about it, the more details came back to him. He remembered working late at the newspaper office. He remembered covering a big story, something about space travel and aliens. But the details were fuzzy. He needed help. But who could he trust? Everyone else had their memories wiped. If he Told anyone what he discovered, they would think he was crazy. The next morning, Jiho decided to look for other people like him. Maybe he wasn't the only one who remembered. He started searching online forums and chat rooms. He looked for anyone talking about missing time or strange memories. Most of what he found was garbage. People talking about UFOs and conspiracy theories. But then he found something interesting. A user named DataGhost had posted a message in a hidden forum, looking for people who remember the year that doesn't exist. If you know what I'm talking about, meet me at the old arcade in Hongdae tonight at 9 p.m. Come alone. The message was posted just yesterday. Someone else knew about 2091. Jiho felt excited and scared at the same time. This could be a trap, or it could be his only chance to find answers. That evening, Jiho went to the old arcade in Hongdae. It was a small, dark place that smelled like cigarettes and old electronics. Most of the game machines were broken. Only a few people were inside, playing old fighting games. At exactly 9 p.m., a young woman with short black hair walked up to him. She was wearing a dark jacket and glasses. "You're here about the missing year," she said quietly. It wasn't a question. "Yes," Jiho said. "You remember 2091 too?" "I don't remember it," the woman said, "but I found proof that it existed. My name is Mina Lee. I'm a data recovery specialist. I work in the digital underground." Digital underground? I help people recover deleted files and hidden information. 3 weeks ago, a client hired me to find some old government files. While I was searching, I found something strange. Fragments of data from a year that officially doesn't exist. Mina looked around the arcade carefully. "We can't talk here. Follow me." She led him through a back door into a narrow alley. They walked for several blocks until they reached an old apartment building. Mina took him up to the 5th floor and opened a door with 3 different locks. Inside was a small apartment filled with computers and monitors. Cables ran everywhere across the floor and walls. "This is my workspace," Mina said. "And this is what I found." She turned on one of the monitors. Lines of code scrolled across the screen. Then she opened a file. "These are fragments of encrypted data," she said. "They're broken and incomplete, but they all have timestamps from 2091. Government files, news reports, even personal emails, all from a year that supposedly never happened." Jiho stared at the screen. Finally, he had proof. He wasn't going crazy. "There's more," Mina said. "The encryption is advanced, military grade. Someone spent a lot of time and money to hide this information. But they didn't do a perfect job. Small pieces survived." "What do the files say?" "That's the problem. They're too damaged to read completely. But I can see keywords. First contact. Alien alliance. FTL travel. Cover-up." Jiho felt his heart racing. Aliens. That was what he had been trying to remember about 2091. Something about aliens. "I need your help," Mina said. "You say you remember 2091. If that's true, you might be able to help me figure out what these files mean. Together, we might be able to uncover the truth." Jiho looked at the broken data on the screen. He thought about his missing memories and the year that had been stolen from everyone. "Yes," he said. "Let's find out what really happened in 2091. For 3 days, Jiho and Mina worked together in her small apartment. They sat in front of glowing computer screens, trying to fix the broken data files. The work was slow and hard, but they were making progress. "Look at this," Mina said, pointing at her screen. "I found more pieces of the same file. It's a government report from February 2091. Jiho looked at the screen. Most of the text was corrupted, but he could read some words. First successful faster-than-light flight. Contact established. Peaceful species. Technology sharing agreement. Faster-than-light travel, Jiho said slowly. That means going faster than the speed of light. To reach other stars. Yes, Mina said. And look at this part. Contact established. That means humans met aliens in 2091. Jiho felt a strange feeling in his head, like something was trying to break free from inside his mind. I remember something, he said. There was a big celebration. People were dancing in the streets. Everyone was so happy. What else do you remember? A woman, an astronaut. She was on TV talking about the aliens. She said they were friendly. She said they wanted to help humans. Jiho held his head. Her name was Yuna. Yuna something. Mina's fingers flew across her keyboard. Yuna, astronaut. 2091. She searched through government databases. Here, Yuna Choi, former astronaut. But look at this. Her official record says she retired in 2090. Nothing about any space missions in 2091. But I remember her, Jiho said. She was the leader of the first contact mission. Mina found Yuna's address. She lives in Busan now. We should go talk to her. The next morning, they took the high-speed train to Busan. Jiho felt nervous during the whole trip. What if Yuna didn't remember anything? What if her memory was erased like everyone else's? Yuna lived in a small house near the ocean. When she opened the door, Jiho recognized her immediately. She was older now, with gray hair, but it was definitely the same woman from his memories. Can I help you? Yuna asked. My name is Jiho Park. I'm a journalist. This is Mina Lee. We wanted to ask you about your space missions. Yuna's face went cold. I don't know what you're talking about. I never went to space. Please leave. She started to close the door, but Jiho put his hand out to stop her. Wait, he said. What about the Zephyrian Alliance? Do you remember the aliens who helped us? Yuna froze. Her face went very pale. What did you say? The Zephyrian Alliance, the peaceful aliens. You led the mission to meet them in 2091. Yuna stared at him for a long moment. Then she started shaking. No, she whispered. That's impossible. 2091 never happened. I never. She held her head in her hands. But I keep having dreams. Strange dreams about flying to the stars and meeting the Zephyrians, Jiho said softly. Stop, Yuna shouted. Don't say that word. Every time someone says that word, my head hurts. She was crying now. I've been having these dreams for 4 years. Dreams about space and aliens and someone did something to my mind, didn't they? Mina stepped forward. We think the government erased your memories. They erased everyone's memories of 2091. That's impossible, Yuna said, but she didn't sound sure anymore. Can we come inside? Jiho asked. We have proof. Yuna let them into her house. It was full of model spaceships and pictures of space. On one wall there was a photo of Yuna in an astronaut suit. But the date on the photo had been scratched out. Mina showed Yuna the broken data files on her laptop. As Yuna read the fragments, her face changed. She looked confused, then scared, then angry. This is about me, she said. These files are about my mission, but I don't remember any mission. Try to remember, Jiho said. Close your eyes and think about 2091. Yuna closed her eyes. For several minutes she was quiet. Then she started speaking in a strange voice, like she was talking in her sleep. We launched in January, she said. 3 ships, fastest ships ever, built. We used the new FTL drive to reach the Zephyr system in 2 weeks. The aliens were waiting for us. They knew we were coming. Jiho and Mina looked at each other with excitement. Tell us about the aliens, Mina said quietly. Beautiful, Yuna whispered. Tall and thin with silver skin, they spoke perfect Korean. They had been watching us for years, waiting for us to develop FTL travel. They said humans were special. Special how? They said most species give up when things get hard, but humans never give up. They said humans have something called emotional resilience. They had never seen anything like it before. Yuna opened her eyes. They were full of tears. It's all coming back now. The government lied to us. They made us forget the most important moment in human history. Why would they do that? Jiho asked. Because the aliens offered to share their technology for free, Yuna said. Free energy, free food, free medicine. They wanted to make Earth a paradise, but the government leaders were scared. Scared of what? Scared of losing power. If people had free energy and food, they wouldn't need the government anymore. So the leaders made a deal with the aliens. They asked for the mind-erasing technology. They used it to make everyone forget. Mina was typing quickly on her laptop. I'm searching for files about mind-erasing technology. You won't find much, Yuna said. But I remember where they built the machines. There's a secret facility under the government building in Seoul. That's where they erase people's memories. How do you know this? Jiho asked. Because they brought me there first. I was the test subject. They wanted to make sure the technology worked before they used it on everyone else. Yuna stood up and walked to her window. She looked out at the ocean with sad eyes. The aliens trusted us, she said. They thought humans were special because we never give up fighting for what's right. They wanted to be our friends and help us join the galactic community. Are they still out there? Mina asked. I think so. The Zephyrians are patient. They probably know what happened. They're probably waiting to see if any humans remember the truth. Jiho felt angry and excited at the same time. The government had stolen the greatest moment in human history. They had thrown away humanity's chance to join the galactic community, just to keep their power. We have to tell people, he said. We have to make them remember. It won't be easy, Yuna said. The memory erasing technology is very advanced. Most people can't fight it. But some people can, Mina said. Jiho remembered. And now you're remembering too. Maybe some humans are stronger than others, Yuna said. Maybe some people's minds can resist the technology. We need to find more people like us, Jiho said. People who remember or people who are starting to remember. Yuna nodded. I know someone who might help. Taeho Kim. He used to work in the government archives. He was acting strange before I lost my memories, like he knew something terrible was about to happen. Where is he now? Mina asked. He disappeared right after 2091 was erased. But I think I know where he might be hiding. Jiho looked at his two new friends. A journalist, a data expert, and a former astronaut. It wasn't much of a team, but it was a start. The government erased the year 2091, he said. But they made one mistake. They didn't erase it completely, and now we're going to make sure everyone remembers the truth. Outside, the sun was setting over the ocean. Somewhere among the stars, the Zephyrian Alliance was waiting. Waiting to see if humans would remember who they really were. The fight to restore humanity's stolen year was just beginning. Taeho Kim lived in an old warehouse on the edge of Seoul. Yuna had given them directions, but finding the place was still hard. The warehouse looked empty and abandoned from the outside. Jiho knocked on a small side door. Nothing happened. He knocked again, using the special pattern Yuna had taught him. 3 short knocks, 2 long knocks, then 3 short knocks again. The door opened slowly. A thin man with tired eyes looked out at them. Yuna sent us, Jiho said quietly. The man studied their faces for a long moment. Then he stepped back and let them inside. I'm Taeho, the man said. I've been waiting for someone to find me. The inside of the warehouse was full of computers, papers, and strange machines. It looked like Taeho had been living there for years. You remember 2091, don't you? Mina asked. I remember everything, Taeho said sadly. I worked in the government archives. I was there when they planned the memory erasure. I tried to stop them, but I was just one person. Why didn't they erase your memory too? Jiho asked. They tried, but I had prepared for it. I built a device that protects my brain from the memory erasing technology. Taeho showed them a small metal device attached to his head behind his ear. It's not perfect, but it works. Can you make more of those devices? Mina asked. I've been trying for 4 years, but I need better technology. The government's memory machines are too powerful. Taeho led them deeper into the warehouse. In the back, there was a large room filled with electronic equipment. I've been working on something, he said. A way to reverse the memory erasure, to give people back their stolen memories of 2091. Does it work? Jiho asked. I don't know. I haven't tested it yet. I need someone whose memories are just starting to come back. Someone like Yuna. We can bring her here, Mina said. Wait, Taiho said. There's something else you need to know. We're not alone in this fight. He walked to a corner of the room and pulled back a large cloth. Underneath was a tall figure sitting in a chair. At first, Jiho thought it was a person wearing strange clothes. Then he realized it wasn't human at all. The being was very tall and thin, with silver skin that seemed to glow softly. Its eyes were large and kind. When it stood up, it was almost 7 feet tall. This is Do-hyun, Taiho said. He's from the Zephyrian Alliance. Jiho's mouth fell open. Mina stepped backward in surprise. Hello, Do-hyun said in perfect Korean. His voice was gentle and musical. I have been waiting to meet more humans who remember the truth. You're real, Jiho whispered. The aliens are real. Very real, Do-hyun said with what might have been a smile. I have been hiding on Earth for 4 years, ever since your government erased the memories of first contact. Why did you stay? Mina asked. Because the Zephyrian Alliance believes in humanity, Do-hyun said. We knew that some humans would eventually fight against the memory erasure. Your species is the only one in the galaxy that has this ability. What ability? Jiho asked. The ability to resist mental control, Do-hyun explained. Most species, when their memories are erased, simply accept it. They never question what happened. But humans are different. Humans have something we call stubborn hope. You refuse to accept that things cannot be changed. Taeho nodded. That's why the memory erasure didn't work perfectly. Some humans like you were strong enough to remember pieces of the truth. The Zephyrian Alliance has been studying. This, Do-hyun continued. In our history, no species has ever recovered from systematic memory erasure. But we believe humans can do it. That's why I stayed, to help you when you were ready. Can you help us fix Taiho's machine? Mina asked. Yes, Do-hyun said. Zephyrian technology can make it much more powerful. But we must work quickly. Why quickly? Jiho asked. Taiho's face went dark. Because the government is planning something terrible. I've been monitoring their communications. They call it Project Reset. What's Project Reset? Mina asked. They want to erase more than just 2091, Taiho said. They want to erase the last 10 years of human history and rebuild society from scratch. Complete government control over everything. Jiho felt cold. When? Soon. Maybe in 2 weeks. They're building new memory erasing machines all over the world, much more powerful than before. We have to stop them, Jiho said. We can't stop them, Taiho said, but we can fight back. If we can restore enough people's memories before Project Reset happens, maybe we can create a resistance movement. Over the next week, their small group grew. Yuna came to Seoul and brought other people with her. Some were former government workers who had been acting strange since 2091. Others were ordinary people who had been having weird dreams or memory fragments. They found Gina Yu, a military officer who had been asking questions about missing mission, reports from 2091. They found Si Woo-han, a computer programmer who had discovered deleted files in government systems. Each new person brought more pieces of the puzzle. Working with Do-hyun's help, Taiho improved his memory restoration machine. They tested it carefully on volunteers. It worked. People's memories of 2091 began returning. But the memories that came back were not just about aliens and space travel. People remembered that 2091 had been a year of hope. A year when humanity learned they were part of something bigger. A year when the future looked bright and full of possibilities. The government didn't just steal our memories, Yuna said after. Her treatment was complete. They stole our hope. That's exactly right, Do-hyun said. Hope is humanity's greatest strength. Your government knew that if people remembered how good things could be, they would never accept the way things are now. As more people got their memories back, their group became a real resistance movement. They met in secret locations around Seoul. They planned and organized. They prepared to fight back against Project Reset. But they also learned that the government was watching them. Security forces were searching for the memory terrorists, as they called the resistance. They know we exist, Gina warned during one of their meetings. My contacts in the military say they're planning to arrest all of us soon. How soon? Jiho asked. Days, maybe hours. Taiho stood up. Then we have to act now. We can't wait any longer. What do you mean? Mina asked. We have to use the emergency broadcast system, Taiho said. Send the memory restoration signal to everyone in the country at the same time. Is that possible? Jiho asked. With Dohyun's help, yes, but it's dangerous. The signal won't work on everyone, and the government will try to stop us. How many people do you think will remember? Siwoo asked. Maybe 1 in 100, Dohyun said, but that would still be 500,000 people in Korea alone. And once they remember, they'll help others remember too. Jiho looked around the room at his friends. A journalist, a data expert, an astronaut, an archivist, an alien, a military officer, and a programmer. Not exactly an army, but they were all that stood between humanity and total mental slavery. When do we do it? He asked. Tomorrow night, Taeho said, before Project Reset can begin. Outside the warehouse, government helicopters circled in the distance. Time was running out. The government erased 2091 to steal our hope, Jiho said. Tomorrow, we give that hope back to humanity. Dohyun nodded. And when humans remember who they truly are, the galaxy will watch in amazement. Because no other species has ever fought back against the impossible and won. The final battle for human memory was about to begin. The emergency broadcast station was on top of Seoul Tower, the tallest building in the city. Getting there would not be easy. Government soldiers were everywhere, searching for the resistance. Jiho crouched behind a car with Mina and Taiho. They watched the soldiers patrol the street below the tower. There are too many of them, Mina whispered. We have to try, Jiho said. If we don't broadcast the signal tonight, Project Reset will begin tomorrow. Everyone's memories will be gone forever. On the other side of the city, Yuna and Gina were creating a distraction. They had stolen a government truck and were driving around Seoul setting off small explosions. Nothing dangerous, just enough noise to draw the soldiers away from the tower. Do-hyun was with Siwoo at the broadcast equipment. The Zephyrian alien had worked all day to modify the memory restoration device. Now it was powerful enough to reach millions of people at once. The signal is ready, Siwoo said into his radio. But I need 15 minutes to upload it to the broadcast system. You'll have your 15 minutes, Gina's voice came back over the radio. We're about to make some very loud noise. In the distance, they heard explosions. Sirens began wailing. Most of the soldiers around Seoul Tower ran toward the sounds. Now, Jiho said. The 3 of them ran across the street and into the tower. The elevators were locked, so they had to climb the stairs. 30 floors. By the time they reached the broadcast station, they were breathing hard. Siwoo was already there with Dohyun connecting cables to the transmission equipment. How long do we have? Jiho asked. Not long, Dohyun said. The government knows what we're doing. They're sending helicopters. Through the windows, they could see aircraft approaching in the distance. Can you finish in time? Mina asked. Almost done, Siwoo said. His fingers flew over the computer keyboard. Just a few more minutes. The helicopters were getting closer. Jiho could hear their engines getting louder. They're trying to contact us, Taeho said, listening to a radio. Director Hyon wants to talk. Put him on speaker, Jiho said. A cold voice filled the room. This is Director Hyon Choi of the Temporal Regulation Bureau. You are surrounded. Surrender now and we will be merciful. Jiho picked up the radio microphone. This is Jiho Park. We know what you did. We know about 2091. Impossible, Director Hyon said. 2091 never existed. You are suffering from false memories caused by terrorist brainwashing. Then why are you so scared of us? Jiho asked. If we're just crazy people with false memories, why do you need all these soldiers? There was silence on the radio for a moment. You don't understand, Director Hyan said finally. We saved humanity. The aliens wanted to control us. We protected people from their influence. That's a lie, Do-Yun said, speaking into the microphone. The Zephyrian Alliance offered friendship, not control. An alien, Director Hyan sounded. Shocked. You've been contaminated by alien influence. This proves how dangerous you are. Ready, Siwoo shouted. The signal is uploaded, broadcasting in 10 seconds. The helicopters were circling the tower now. Soldiers were rappelling down ropes onto the roof. 5 seconds, Siwoo said. The door to the broadcast room exploded open. Government soldiers rushed in with their weapons drawn. Stop, one of them shouted. Too late, Siwoo said with a smile. He pressed the final button. A powerful signal burst out from Seoul Tower. It spread across the city, then across the country, then around the world. The memory restoration frequency reached millions of people in seconds. At first nothing seemed to happen, then Jiho's phone started ringing. Then Mina's phone, then everyone's phones. What's happening? One of the soldiers asked. People were calling from all over Seoul. They were confused and excited and angry. Their memories were coming back. I remember, a voice shouted over the radio. I remember the aliens. I remember 2091. More voices joined, and thousands of people were calling radio stations and TV stations. They all had the same message. They remembered the year that was stolen from them. Shut it down, Director Hyan screamed over the radio. Activate Project Reset, erase everything. But it was too late. The memory restoration signal had spread too far. All over the world, people were remembering. Not everyone, maybe one person. In every 100, just like Do-Yun had predicted. But that was still millions of people, and those millions were angry. In Seoul, people began gathering in the streets. They were holding signs that said, "We remember 2091 and give us back our history." The protests spread to other cities, then to other countries. The government tried to activate Project Reset, but their own operators were starting to remember too. Many of them refused orders. Some even destroyed the memory erasing machines. Sir, one of the soldiers in the broadcast room said to his commander, I think I remember something. There was a celebration. People were happy about aliens. Was that real? The commander's face went blank. Then his eyes widened. Oh no, he whispered. What have we done? Director Hyan's voice came over the radio again, but now he sounded desperate. All units, ignore your memories. They are false. Continue with Project Reset. But fewer and fewer people were listening to him. 3 days later, Jiho stood in front of Seoul Tower again. But this time he wasn't hiding. He was giving a speech to a crowd of 50,000 people. All of them had recovered their memories of 2091. The government tried to steal our hope, Jiho said into the microphone. They tried to make us forget that we are part of something bigger. They tried to make us forget that the universe is full of friends, not enemies. The crowd cheered. Do-Yun stood beside him on the stage. The Zephyrian was no longer hiding. News cameras from around the world were filming him. The Zephyrian Alliance never gave up on humanity, Do-Hyun said. We knew that humans were special. We knew that you would fight back against the impossible. What makes humans special? A reporter shouted. Every other species in the galaxy accepts defeat when it seems hopeless, Do-Yun explained. But humans never do. You have something we call stubborn hope. You refuse to believe that things cannot be changed. In the crowd, Jiho saw Yuna, Mina, Taiho, Gina, and Siwoo. They were all smiling. What happens now? Another reporter asked. Now we rebuild, Jiho said. We restore the rest of humanity's memories. We rejoin the galactic community. And we make sure this never happens again. The Zephyrian Alliance is ready to welcome humanity back, Do-Hyun said. But more than that, your example has inspired other species. Word is spreading across the galaxy about the species that fought back against memory erasure and won. Other aliens want to meet us? The reporter asked. Hundreds of species, Do-Hyun said. They all want to learn about human determination. Some of them have been suffering under oppressive governments too. They want to know how to fight back like humans did. Jiho looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, Among the stars, an entire galaxy was watching humanity with amazement and hope. Director Hyon and the other conspiracy leaders had been arrested. The memory-erasing machines were being destroyed. Around the world, more people were remembering 2091 every day. The government erased the year 2091, Jiho said to the crowd, but they forgot something important about humans. We never give up. We never stop fighting for the truth, and we never ever stop hoping for a better tomorrow. The crowd cheered again. In the distance, a Zephyrian ship was descending from the sky, bringing the first official delegation from the galactic community in 4 years. Humanity was home again, among the stars. And this time, no one would ever make them forget who they really were. The stubborn hope of humanity had saved not just their own species, but had lit a fire of resistance across the entire galaxy, just like the Zephyrians had always known it would.